I just got out of the Mago Pop Broadway magic show. It was the closing night. I managed to get a rush ticket for, I think I paid $42, and I was front row, which didn't really mean anything because much of the show you're kind of watching like this screen anyway. My view is partially obstructed. So I'm in Times Square right now and it's just total chaos. Literally hell. I had like middling to low expectations just because I hadn't heard of it before and I didn't know what to expect, and it was so good. Like, there's something about a magic show where the audience is clearly really emotionally invested as well. Like, there were a lot of Spanish people in the audience. Like, the front of house staff at the theater were speaking Spanish before they were speaking English. Like, they were assuming that you were a Spanish speaker, and the magician of the show is Spanish. So these people clearly were sort of extra invested in that regard, and it meant that they were just like even more willing to just like get into it. And for a magic show, that's obviously so important. And it just meant the vibes in the house, like there was like an intro video and they were all like clapping along, getting really excited. And in a normal theater environment, if people are like clapping along and stuff, it's really annoying. But in this show, it didn't matter, like it only added to it. So all of the areas, all those sorts of areas where normally that would detract from the experience, actually for this, were just all additive. And so there was just this like huge vibe in the theater of like, hell yeah, this is so cool. And then the magic itself was great. I feel like I saw a man fly tonight, which I'm a physics student. I know that's not possible, but that's what it was like. Really insane, and just fun as well. At the end of the day, he had really good stage presence and brought really happy, charming, positive, magical vibes to the theater, which was really cool to see. So overall, in short, my review is like, for $40, that was so worthwhile. Some of the tricks, sure, like he used the UV light at one point. It was very, very obvious. That's not a spoiler. But like, if you've ever seen anything with UV done before, you'd recognize it straight away. So like, stuff like that was not like that incredible by any means, but then the fact that there was so much other stuff which was just insane meant that it didn't matter. Like, there's one or two smaller moments or ever so slightly less impressive moments or what have you, and it was a good mix as well because there was some card stuff in there. I do sort of feel like a lot of the tricks had the vibe of people being randomly picked from the audience, even though they weren't seemingly. It just kind of was giving that energy at times. Like with one or two things, it was just like, okay, well, my sort of suspension of disbelief is almost being messed with here because this is too impossible, if that makes sense. I don't know if there's like a solution to that he can actually use beyond just doing less impressive stuff. It felt like the random child was a paid actor type vibes. You know what I mean? But still, I mean, ultimately that's a sign of a good show and a good magician. If I can't figure out what the hell's going on and my brain defaults to, well, it must be fake somehow. Do you know what I mean? I mean, obviously there's a trick there, but it must be fake is what my brain is thinking. So really, really cool show overall. I would highly recommend. I don't know if he's going to have another run at another Broadway theater or what. This was at the Barrymore. Apparently the first magician, or certainly the first one from Europe, to have a residency like that. So really cool, really happy for him, and he so totally deserves it. It's 5 stars for me. It was a really fantastic night. I would absolutely go again.